Oscar. Grandpa here. And guess who? Moosey. Say hello to Oscar, Moosey.
Hello. Hello, Oscar.
Moosey's very well, aren't you, Oscar? Aren't you, Moosey?
Yep, I am very well.
Absolutely. I do look after him very well, Oscar, as I'm sure you'll expect me to. Anyway, lots of love from me, Grandpa, and from Granny. And I hope you enjoy Granny's recipe for banana bread. It's really lovely. So enjoy. And I hope you're having lots of love too from Auntie Anna. She's she's here at the moment with Damien, which is nice. So it's lots of love to you and little Annabelle, and Mummy and Daddy, of course. And I hope you had a really exciting week. Love the pictures of you at must have been at science camp, I think, and your parachute. I thought that was great. Anyway, so we need to read a little bit more about Hiccup Horrendous Haddock III. So Hiccup for short, and there's we're reading from How to Train Your Dragon, and you'll remember that this is the cast. There's Hiccup, and there's Speedy Fist and Dog's Breath the Durbrain. Look at them all, they're amazing. So we're going to meet them all as we go through the story. So this is chapter 4. Ha 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 ha! Snotlight was laughing so hard that he hadn't managed to say anything at all. The boys were hanging about the village gates, taking the opportunity to show off the dragons that they had caught. Hiccup had tried to walk through without being noticed, but Snotlight had stopped him. "Let's see what pathetic creature Hiccup has got," said Snotlight, and took off the lid. "Oh, this is brilliant! Look at it," said Snotlight. And there's Snotlight's picture there, look. Horrible looking bloke. "Look at it," said Snotlight, brilliant when he finally got his breath back from laughing. "What is it, Hiccup? A little brown bunny rabbit with wings, a flower fairy, a fluffy flying frog? Gather round, everybody, and see the magnificent animal that our future leader has caught himself." "Oh, Hiccup, you are useless," crowed Speedy Fist. "You're the son of a chief, for Thor's sake. Why didn't you get one of those new monstrous nightmares with the 6-foot wingspan and the extra extendable claws? They're really mean killers, they are." And there's Speedy Fist laughing his head off too. I have one, grinned Snotlight, gesturing to the terrifying-looking flame-red animal fast asleep in his basket. "I think I shall call her Fireworm. What are you going to call yours, Hiccup? Sweetums? Sugarlips? Babyface?" Hiccup's dragon took this particular moment to give a huge yawn. Can you yawn, Oscar? Yeah, it always makes me want to go to sleep. Opening his tiny mouth wide to reveal a flickering forked tongue, very pink gums, and absolutely no teeth at all. A dragon without teeth, Oscar, can you imagine it? Snotlight laughed so hard, Dog's Breath had to hold him upright. There's Snotlight and Dog's Breath. Ooh, they're horrible looking things, aren't they? "Toothless," cried Snotlight. "Hiccup has found himself the only toothless dragon in the uncivilized world. This is too good. Hiccup the useless and his dragon toothless." Fishlegs leapt to Hiccup's defence. "Well, you are not allowed that monstrous nightmare that you've got there, snot-faced Snotlight. Only the son of a chief is allowed a monstrous nightmare. That fireworm dragon is Hiccup's by rights." Snotlight's eyes narrowed. He grabbed Fishleg's arm and twisted it viciously behind his back. "Nobody's listening to you, plankton-hearted, fish-legged disaster area," sneered Snotlight. "Thanks to you and your snivelling, sneezing disability, that whole military operation was nearly a totally disaster. When I'm chief of this tribe, the first thing I'm going to do is boot anybody with a pathetic allergy like yours straight out into exile. You're not fit to be a hooligan." Fishlegs went very white in the face, but he still managed to gasp out, "But you are not going to be chief of this tribe. Hiccup is going to be chief of this tribe." Snotlight dropped Fishleg's arms and advanced menacingly on Hiccup. "Oh, he is he?" jeered Snotlight. "So I'm not allowed that monstrous nightmare, am I? Our future leader is keeping very quiet about it, isn't he? Come on, Hiccup, I'm stealing your inheritance. What are you going to do about it then? Poor Hiccup. The boys all looked solemn. Snotlight really had broken an ancient Viking rule. Hiccup should challenge you for the dragon, said Fishlegs slowly, and everybody swivelled round to look expectantly at Hiccup. Oh, brilliant, muttered Hiccup under his breath. Thank you, Fishlegs. My day just gets better and better. Snotlight was a great brute of a boy who didn't really need dog's breath's help when it came to bashing people up. He wore specially constructed bronze-tipped sandals in order to cause maximum damage when kicking people. Hiccup tried to stay out of his way as much as he possibly could. But he couldn't ignore this insult to his status. Now Fishlegs had helpfully pointed it out without looking like a coward in front of the other boys. And if you became known as a coward in the hooligan tribe, you might as well go the whole hog and wear a pale pink jerkin, taking up playing the harp, and change your name to Ermintrude. And then looking like that, which of course would be ridiculous. I challenge you, snot-faced Snotlight, for the dragon Fireworm, who is mine by right, said Hiccup, trying to hide his reluctance by speaking as loudly and as formally as possible. I accept your challenge, said Snotlight, super fast, grinning all over his horrid, smug face. Axes or fists? Fists, said Hiccup, because axes were a really bad idea. I shall look forward to showing you how a real future hero fights, said Snotlight. And then he remembered something. After the initiation thing on Thursday, though, I don't want to stub my toe or anything while I'm kicking you all around the village. Hiccup might win, Fishlegs pointed out. Of course he won't win, boasted Snotlight. Look at my sporting ability, my Viking courage, my capacity for mindless violence. I shall win just as surely as I shall be chief of this tribe one day. I mean, look at my dragon and then look at his dragon. He pointed mockingly at Toothless. The gods have spoken, it's only a matter of time. In the meantime, Snotlight carried on, I shall live in fear of being gummed to death by Hiccup's terrifying Toothless terrapin. And Snotlight sauntered off in a lordly fashion, giving Hiccup a nasty kick on the shins as he did so. Sorry about the challenge, Fishlegs apologised after they had left the baskets with the dragons in them under their beds at their homes. Oh, don't worry about it, said Hiccup. Somebody would have got me to do it anyway. You know how they all love a fight. Fishlegs and Hiccup were going to the Great Hall to look for the book Gobber had recommended, How to Train Your Dragon by Professor Yobbish. Look, there's the book cover. How to Train Your Dragon by Professor Yobbish, BAMA Ons, Canterbury, etc. Big Axe Books, 10th Anniversary Edition. Winner of the Best Book for Barbarians Gold Award. As it happens, confided Hiccup, I know a bit about dragons already, but I haven't the foggiest clue how to start training one. I would have said they were virtually untrainable. I'm really looking forward to getting some tips. The Great Hall was a hullabaloo of young barbarians fighting, yelling and playing the popular Viking game of Bashy Ball, which was a very violent contact sport with lots of contact and very few rules. Hiccup and Fishlegs found the book tucked away in the fireplace, practically in the fire. Hiccup had never noticed it before. He opened the book. I have included a basic replica of How to Train Your Dragon by Professor Yobber here, in order that you can share the experience with Hiccup of opening that book for the first time, full of hope and interest and expectation. You will have to imagine that the cover is unusually thick, with huge golden clasps. There we are, look, you can see the big golden clasp. Huge golden clasps, and that some scribe has already covered it in elaborately fancy gilt lettering. It looks very inviting indeed. There we are. There's another page from the inside of the book. This book is dedicated to Mummy, with love from your dearest Yob. Oh dear, the publishers Big Axe Books Limited like to point out that they take no responsibility whatsoever for any injuries that may occur as a result of any personal piercings following the advice given in this book. Thank you for your attention. And at the bottom somebody's written, Beowulf is a softie. Oh dear. And then there's the library dates in here, library ticket, and at the bottom it says, Oscar, do not remove this book or we will bash you. And then there's a story about Professor Yobbish. There he is, look, with his beard. So he spent many years in the wild observing dragons in their natural habitat. This book is the culmination of his research and is the definitive textbook on the subject of these fascinating creatures. Professor Yobbish lives alone in a cave on the Isle of Doom. He is the author of Looking After Your Killer Whale and Sharks and Other Great Pets. He is currently writing a book about butterflies. Chapter the first and last. The golden rule of dragon training is to, can you read those words, Oscar? Yell at it. You've got to shout at your dragon. The louder the better. How would you train a dragon? Look inside for all the answers in Professor Yobbish's hugely entertaining and informative book. Follow his simple advice and you will soon be on your way to becoming a hero you've always wanted to be. That's it, said Hiccup furiously, turning the book upside down and shaking it, trying to see whether there was anything other than that single page of paper inside. Hiccup put the book down. His face was unusually grim. OK, Fishlegs, he said, unless you're any better at yelling than I am, we're on our own. We're going to have to work out our own method of dragon training. And there's Hiccup looking a little bit puzzled by it all. So, Stoik the Vast. Oh, wow, look at that. He's an enormous chap, isn't he? Stoik the Vast. Chapter 5, a chat with old Wrinkly. The next morning, Hiccup checked the dragon under his bed. It was still asleep. When his mother, Valharama, asked him at breakfast, how did initiation go yesterday, dear? Hiccup said, oh, it was fine. I caught my dragon. That's nice, dear. Valhalarama replied vaguely. Stoik the Vast looked up briefly from his bowl and boomed. Excellent, excellent, before getting back to the important task of shoveling food into his mouth. After breakfast, Hiccup went to sit on the front step beside his grandfather, who was smoking a pipe. It was a beautiful, cold, clear winter's morning with not a breath of wind and the sea all around as flat as grass. Old Wrinkly blew out smoke rings contentedly as he watched the sun coming up. Hiccup shivered and chucked stones into the bracken. Neither of them spoke for a long time. At last Hiccup said, I got that dragon. I said you would, didn't I? Replied old Wrinkly, very pleased with himself. Old Wrinkly had taken up soothsaying in his old age, mostly unsuccessfully. Looking into the future is a complicated business, so he was particularly pleased that he got this right. Something extraordinary, you said, complained Hiccup. A truly unusual dragon, you said. An animal that would make me stand out in the crowd. Absolutely, agreed old Wrinkly. The entrails were undeniable. The only extraordinary thing about this dragon, continued Hiccup, is how extraordinarily small it is, in that it is super unusual. I'm even more of a laughing stock than ever. Oh dear, said old Wrinkly, chuckling in a wheezy way over his pipe. Hiccup looked at him reproachfully. Old Wrinkly hurriedly turned the laugh into a cough. Size is all relative, Hiccup, said old Wrinkly. All of these dragons are super small compared to a real sea dragon. A real sea dragon is 50 times as big as that little creature. A real sea dragon from the bottom of the ocean can swallow 10 large Viking ships in one gulp. I'll not even notice. Look, there's a picture of Hiccup at the bottom. Oh, he's thinking, oh my goodness, that sounds terrible. A real sea dragon is a cruel, careless mystery, like the mighty ocean itself. One moment calm as a scallop, the next raging like an octopus. Well, here on Berk, said Hiccup, where we haven't any sea dragons to compare anything with, my dragon is just considerably smaller than everybody else's. You are getting off the point. Well, I think that's a good spot just to close off today, Oscar. And it's been lovely reading to you. I look forward to reading you the next section. It will be great fun. And how will Hiccup get on with his dragon? And he's going to have oh dear, things are happening. So, lots of love from me, Grandpa, and from Granny and Auntie Anna. Lots of love to Mummy and Daddy, you and little Annabelle. Lots of love for now. Bye, Oscar. Bye.